Hey guys, this is Julia Malden. I'm the owner of Jujubilees and Henna by Juju. And what I wanted to do is make a video to show you guys a little bit about our new setup that we're launching this summer, 2015. To tell you briefly about the company, about 8.5 years ago, I was a single mom and I had a full-time job, but I needed a little bit extra to make ends meet. So I started face painting on the weekends, and where I started was in Canton at First Monday. And I eventually learned more about the face painting community, the types of face paints that were out there. And so the money that I would make, I would take a little bit and invest it into better products, and I would practice lots on my 4-year-old little Trevor, who's going to help me later on in the video. And we would go to different festivals all over East Texas. I would pay to be a vendor, and I would set up and I would face paint. And my goal from the very beginning was to be top notch. I'd seen face painters around, and typically it was volunteer work. Some of them would paint with Q-tips. A lot of the times the paint was liquid paint. And so when it would dry on the skin, it would crack and peel and itch and kind of irritate the face a little bit. And so I found out that the paints that you can get are cosmetic and they go on with water. And so when they dry, they don't do any of those things, and it feels like makeup. So the kids really don't feel the design on their face. And it also allows the artist to really control the design. We use acrylic or watercolor paintbrushes. And so we have a lot more control with that to do some really intricate details. You may have seen us around at different festivals and things, and we have a big, nice display for outside with a big banner. We really like to have a really nice setup wherever we go. And on those outside setups, the same elements that I'm going to show you in this new setup that we have still exist, but just it looks a little bit different. So to start off, I already told you a little bit about the paints, but we use different brands. This one is Tag. We use Wolf and Diamond FX. There's a couple of different brands that we use. Some are more creamy, some are actually a dry powder, and so we will use these smoothie blenders that I have right here. In the summertime, it doesn't run down the face or anything like that, and so it gives us a lot more control over the design. So the different paints that we use play a big factor. We also use the split cakes, and so these come in real handy when we've got a long line of children and we're trying to get through it as quick as we can. So those help us to do really fast but still vibrant and fun designs for the kids. So a little bit about this setup now is I have a digital screen over here that rotates through a lot of different pictures that I've done over the years. Again, I've been doing this for 8 years. Our cards are out here. This right here is the case that I use to carry this. It's a 24-inch LED high definition monitor, and so I hang that there for out of the way. This is a really sturdy, but it's not too heavy table that I found. It's perfect for what I was needing, and so I'm really happy with it. It's on rollers, it's got brakes on it, and I'm able to mount this monitor, and it's sturdy, so it's not going anywhere. And that was one of my big things is safety. It's always been a big concern of mine, is that everything we have is safe, because there'll be people all over this thing. There'll be kids all around. There'll be parents wanting to watch, and so everything that I have is very sturdy. And speaking of this, it's live streaming to a small digital high definition camera here. There's a lot of different kinds of cameras out there, but the one that I have creates a really good vibrant picture and has really good streaming qualities. There's no lag or anything like so. It's actually virtually a live picture. We use black cloths to kind of keep the area clean and professional looking. I leave my brushes on here from time to time. If I just do a little bit of something on the cheek area here, I won't necessarily clean it. every customer, but probably about every third customer I'll give it a good wash. And let me show you how we do our brush washing here. I have this set up here. It just slides in and out. And these are stainless steel cups. The first one, we just do a rinse. The middle one has a little bit of soap in it, and we typically use just a hypoallergenic, tear-free type of baby wash just to wash that paint out, and then we give it a third rinse in this third cup here. So by the time we get through washing out our brushes, it is actually very clean and ready for the next customer. To wet our brushes, we have the same kind of stainless steel cups, but they're smaller. And I have 5. I typically go to the same one to re-wet. Like if I'm doing black line work, I'll go to the same cup that I've been going to with black. So instead of having one giant cup that looks like chocolate milk, I actually have 5 clean cups that have different colors to them. And I have tons of brushes. All of them have acrylic handles, so they last a really long time. And I store them in these. I typically have my small thin brushes in one, my big brushes in another, and then kind of the medium. This is the medium one. And so I like to have them in this. Keeps them from getting bent up and things like that. Another thing that I have over here is this cute little gecko sponge brush holder. A lot of these, they're bigger, and so I'll typically just kind of set them down, and the kids really like it. They like the gecko sponge. Also under here, under the table, I have a stainless steel spritzer. It's just got water in it, and when I use sponges, so I do a lot of sponge work, my sponges are down here. You probably can't see them too well because they are stained black, and but that's where they stay. And when I use them, I toss them down in this bag down here, and then I take them home and wash them out really well. But that's what this is for, is to wet those sponges. And then also under here, I have a small sound system. I plug my my iPhone into it and run Pandora, and we have a lot of fun with the music. You can see right here, tucked right here, there's a small speaker. There's another speaker on this side. I have a light here that helps give good lighting to the person that I'm painting. The light does not get hot, and it's coated on this other side so it's not blinding to the customer sitting into the chair. Another thing is our case. This is a rolling case, and I love it. It's got drawers here to get to paper towels and different things that I need. If I need to get to the bottom, where the bottom is actually where I keep my face painting case and a couple of other things that are already out, but that's where those things go. And then this top one, we also do glitter tattoos, and I do henna, and every once in a while we'll do airbrush tattoos, and so it just gives us a lot more to offer the customer depending on the event. And so I can just lift this out, and all of my different glitters are in here. I have all different colors, and my stencils for those glitter tattoos are in here. And we use cosmetic glue, and anything else that I might need at an event is all right here in this case. If I'm at an event and I don't have this much room to spread out, typically this setup is 5.5 by 4.5 feet. That's the footprint, the dimensions. And so if I need to not have this on this side, these come apart, and I can set one of them here underneath or on this table and move this behind the chair here. And then the other two can go back on this side, and I can still get to everything I need. This chair is a really nice, comfortable, it's actually for a hairstylist, but it works out perfect for what we do. As you can see, it's got the little side tables here. We use a lot of hand sanitizer and baby wipes, and so it's just real convenient to have on this table here. And then the artist who's working can have their drink in a cup holder back here. These are, I looked I looked everywhere for the right kind of booster seat, because if you're a face painter, you understand that kids come in all shapes and sizes and heights. And so what's really important for this live streaming video to really work is that I can adjust where the height of the person's face is without having to move the camera too much. So I've got this size, and then I've got a larger size underneath, and I can just switch them out, and they both have this strap on them, so I can strap it to the seat, and so it's safe and secure. It's not going to fall out. But these are actually very sturdy foam, but very comfortable to sit on, so the weight is evenly distributed. I'm also standing on an anti-fatigue mat. This is a small compact one, but it still is enough support so that when I'm standing and painting for 3, 4, sometimes 5 hours, it gives my back a lot of support. And I've learned over the years this is a much needed thing, especially if I'm out somewhere and I'm on asphalt or inside on some concrete, that type of thing. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and show you this in action real quick. I've got my son Trevor. He's a lot older than 4 now, but he's used to getting his face painted. So Trevor, if you'll come on up and have a seat up here. And if you'll notice when he gets in, you can put your drink right there. It's very easy. I don't have to worry about anything tumbling over. It's sturdy. He puts his foot there and he hops on up. And so everything is very solid. So I don't have to worry about things falling over and such. So make yourself comfortable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on this camera. It is battery operated. Another thing I have down here is a couple of extra batteries that are constantly charging, so that when this lets me know, it'll beep at me that the camera is getting low. I just switch out the batteries and then just keep going. So you can see here, this is the screen. And once we get going and I have everything set up on this monitor the way that I need it to be, and this, by the way, this swivels. So typically at an event, this will be what's facing outward to people, and they'll be standing on this direction. But just for the purposes of this video, I wanted to swing it around so you can see. It also swivels up and down. So we'll have sponsors sponsoring us so that we can be out more at events that are nonprofit organizations, restaurant scenarios, just all kinds of different places that we haven't typically been able to go, and we're really excited to go to those different venues and face paint, also do the henna, the glitter tattoos. There's all assortment of things that we can do. And the one thing I want to stress is that you would not be surprised how many adults and teenagers love to get in this chair. Even if they're getting face painted, they love it. It's a big hit at parties, bars, grills and taverns in the evenings. It just brings a whole different atmosphere, and it gives them something to actually go do, and then they can watch their buddies on the screen over here. So at the bottom, there will be 2.5-inch tall and 14-inch wide sponsor banners here. And then on the sides here will be information about us, about Jujubilees, and how they can book us. So that's what's going to be there. So all of this that you see where Trevor is will be the live streaming video that everybody will want to come and watch. So I'm going to let that stay there, and I'm going to do just something kind of simple on him so you can see how fast things go. He's had his face painted so many different times. One thing he doesn't care for is for me to paint on his eye. So I'll show you a really fun design that I can do, and that's not an uncommon request, especially by parents. So let's get going here. What I'll do is I'll show both the sponge and the brush work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here with this light green, and it is pretty neon. I wanted to show you just how vibrant our colors can be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start right up here. You can see how good the coverage is and how quickly this process goes. Sorry. Alright, so there we have the base, and I'm going to do a little bit of darker green just to kind of give it some contrast and some depth. And you may have already guessed what I'm doing here. And I'll just go back in with that light green and kind of blend that out a little bit. It almost gives the effect of an airbrush because of the stippling that I'm doing with the sponge. So what I'm going to do next is use a brush, and I'm using the stainless steel cups with clean water. And it doesn't matter the paint. I can use a brush or a sponge on the paint. It just depends on what effect I'm trying to go for with the design. So I'm going to use the brush so that I can control a little bit better that I don't actually go on his eye. Can you hold your chin up just a little bit? And you can imagine looking at the monitor how neat it would be for people to be able to watch it right there instead of trying to crane around and see over my shoulder. So this design typically runs around about 5 minutes to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go back a little bit with this green. Alright, so now this is where the magic happens. Never really looks like too much until I do the black, the line work. And also I want to mention that a lot of times you might see face painters who use the same paints that we do, and their paints are all out on a table. I used to do that, but what I noticed is especially outdoor events, a lot of dust and pollen gets in the paint. So I set mine vertically in this case, and it works out great because I can still see all the colors. And it keeps my paints really clean. Okay. Let me kind of straighten that up a little bit. All right. And I have a mirror here. A lot of times the kids especially want to come back and see, so I have a mirror there. But I keep one here that I'll actually show them while they're still in my chair. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell what it is?
Turtle. Turtle.
All right, thanks, buddy. You can get your drink and hop on down.
Glasses.
Get your glasses on. Yeah, and that's a good thing. This paint is very safe, and it's actually already dry, and it will stay on his face till he takes a shower. As long as his face stays dry, he can touch it and it's not going to smear or make a big mess or anything like that. If you're watching this on our website, you can go to our booking page and tell us about your event, and we'll get back with you with a customized price for that. If you are interested in sponsoring us, we do have a video kind of telling a little bit about that, and you can email us, and I will be glad to send you those package details on how you can help us get this all over East Texas, like I said, in restaurants, family-oriented destination locations, lot of different places we can take this and really be a fun attraction for people. So thank you so much for watching this, and you have a good day. Thank you.